Yes. Hello friends, thanks for joining us on SERVi Homestead again. Today we're going to tell you what you need to know to get your mower started right now when it's time to start cutting the grass again here in southern US of A. Thanks for joining us. It's getting chilly out here. Okay, so you want to give the mower an overall check. An engine needs fuel to run, it needs oil to lubricate the moving parts, and it needs fresh air coming in, and it needs electricity to make the spark happen in the spark plug. These things will make the combustion happen inside the engine and make the engine run. Now there are some other major things that could happen and make the engine really not worth fixing, but we won't get into that today. So let's check the oil. Usually here at the top there's a dipstick. Here we have two dots. If the oil is between the two dots and doesn't look too black, it's probably okay. This oil is dark and thick and it's below the two dots, so we would definitely want to change this oil. The engine will run without oil, but not for long. This engine is running really fast. The moving parts need to be lubricated and cooled, and that's what the oil does. So, how do we change the oil? Well, check out our other video that will show you how to change the oil in an engine just like this. Now the gas. So here in our part of the country, you may have gone 2 entire months without touching this lawnmower. What was the gas like when you put it in? Was it already kind of old since it was the end of the season? A good tip is to run the gas out completely when you know you won't be using the mower for a while, or put a fuel stabilizer in the gasoline. So pour fresh gas in there, check your oil, change the oil or add a little bit if it doesn't look good, and then check your air filter. Flathead screwdriver. This engine is made by Briggs & Stratton. They are used on lots of push mowers. This one happens to be a Troy built mower, but most lawn mowers do not make their own engine. The engine is a Kohler or Honda or Kawasaki or Briggs & Stratton or Tecumseh, and they are put on the lawnmower manufacturer's body. So here we go. Air filter is here. Very common air filter. This one is horrible, as you can see. So we would change this out. You can get these at most hardware stores or at your local lawnmower repair shop. So change the air filter. Do not run it without an air filter. If you need to for testing purposes, only for a couple of minutes at the most, you will draw dust and hair and fuzz and all kinds of things into the carburetor, which can clog it, or worse, it'll get into the heart of the engine where the piston moves, and then it'll act as an abrasive and just eventually wear your engine out. Alright, so let's pretend we have fresh oil in here, fresh fuel, and a fresh air filter. It's not a bad idea to change the spark plug every year. Where does the spark plug go? Right here, in this hole in the face of the engine in this case. And this boot would snap right onto the spark plug. Spark plugs are $4 or $5 a piece. Try to match the same kind. They are different. They are rated for the size engine and the way the engine runs. They dissipate some heat, and so they are slightly different. The length of the threads can be different as well. You would not want to put a long spark plug that is made for an engine with overhead valves into this kind of engine with the flat top, because the threads would go down deeper into the engine and the piston might even hit the threads, and then your engine would probably be ruined. So put the proper spark plug in there and then go ahead and give it a crank. See what happens. this bar here, this bar is connected to a cable. Here's the cable right here, like the brakes on a mountain bike. The wire inside slides inside of this plastic sheath, and when you do this, you are releasing a little brake pad that rubs on the flywheel as the engine spins. So that little brake pad is not touching the flywheel right now. So the flywheel can spin freely like this. Without this, you almost can't pull the engine at all. So this releases the brake. It also disconnects the grounding wire. So there's a wire that will eliminate the spark happening from your, will eliminate the electricity being made at the ignition coil that goes to the spark plug. So this way you open the grounding circuit so the electricity that the ignition coil makes can go to the spark plug. When you do this, you apply a brake to the flywheel, it slows the engine down, and it kills the electricity that makes the engine run, and so your engine dies very quickly when you need it to. You're done working with it, or you step in an ant pile, or you get into some rocks, or you hit a big stick or a brick, you can quickly let go and the engine will stop. This mower is self-propelled, so this bar activates another cable that initiates a little motor that turns with the engine with a belt and causes that front axle to rotate, and the mower will go with you barely needing to push it. More complication, but it is a nice convenience to have if you have kind of a slightly larger than normal yard to cut, neighborhood type yards. This one also has a little battery, another feature that can be nice, but yet it's another thing to worry about. This one's obviously been disconnected. Alright, so crank it up. Does it run? If it doesn't, well, we have some deeper issues, and you can check out one of our other videos that talks about how to take off a carburetor and clean it. Where's the carburetor? Right behind your air filter. So the air gets cleaned by the filter, and then it draws up a little bit of gasoline inside the carburetor and goes inside the engine as fuel to get combusted. It can often get clogged, especially after sitting for months. The gasoline gets stale, the parts of it separate, and you get gumminess, or you get a little moisture settling in the bottom of the bowl, and that's not good for the engine. The fuel stabilizer will help prevent that. So if we have all that taken care of, then we might be okay to go ahead and cut grass. I say might because the other issue could be the blade. Blades get neglected so often. They're out of sight and out of mind, and it's not that difficult to take them off and sharpen them. If it gets really bad, then you may not be able to sharpen it with a file, or you could, but it would take hours. But you can check out one of our videos on how to take off blades and sharpen them. So it's better for the grass, and it's easier on the engine when you have a nice sharp blade slicing through the grass instead of ripping it. So that should be what you need. Then your engine is ready to go. Your lawnmower should function well. Another option is mulching or not. It's okay. It's nice to have the grass cut up in smaller pieces, and it settles down into your lawn and gets broken down into good nutrient-rich material that the soil can use. If you bag your grass clippings, you're sort of robbing your soil from nutrients that it could be getting from the broken down blades of grass. So I prefer to let the grass stay where it came from. Recap: oil lubricates the moving parts. Gasoline is the fuel for the internal combustion. Your ignition coil and flywheel make electricity for the spark plug to make a little spark, which ignites that air and fuel that goes in. Your air filter cleans the air before it gets in so that your engine lasts longer. So if all of those things are working okay, then your engine will run, your blade will spin as soon as the engine starts running, and you have something that can cut your grass and keep your lawn looking nice. But if any one of these things is out of whack, then the engine may not run well. So pretty basic principles. It's a good idea to run the fuel out of your weed eater and blower and lawnmower at the end of the cutting season when you know you won't be using it for 6 or 8 weeks or so. If you can't run it dry, then put some fuel stabilizer in there. Follow the instructions on the bottle. All right, hopefully this helps you out. Thanks for joining us on SERVi Homestead. Please subscribe. YouTube has changed their rules, and you really need a lot of subscribers to have a good, healthy channel and to get monetized. And that way I can get better equipment and keep putting my time and effort into making this hopefully useful and entertaining information for you guys. Thanks. Take care.